China has widened a lockdown in Hubei province, the center of the coronavirus outbreak, as the death toll climbed to 26. Meanwhile, in India, 2 people who returned from China were kept under medical observation in Mumbai for possible exposure to the novel coronavirus. The Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation has created an isolation ward at its hospital. Muad Razik joins us with more.
Now, as we speak right now, the talk of the town has been the coronavirus, which has rocked many parts of the world. The latest development is China has imposed travel restrictions across more than 10 cities, especially in the Hubei province and including the Wuhan city, where the coronavirus was first emerged in the Hubei province. So this includes around 20 million people, which is equivalent to Sri Lanka's population. More than 20 million people are restricted from traveling in and out of the Hubei province, and also more than 800 confirmed cases of coronavirus have been reported from China as we speak right now.
Meanwhile, China is rushing to build a new hospital in a staggering 10 days to treat patients of the coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan. The 1,000-bed, 25,000 square foot facility is expected to be in use by the 3rd of February to serve the rising number of patients. In 2003, China erected a hospital in Beijing's rural outskirts in barely a week to cater to a rapidly rising number of patients suffering from SARS.
Now, in the meantime, the World Health Organization has said the coronavirus outbreak is not yet a health emergency of international concern, as many reasons for the coronavirus is yet unknown. And also, another interesting case reported from Paris, where a Chinese woman was detected trespassing the security officials, the security process in Paris, where she has been later arrested for not being detected of the coronavirus. So that is a very interesting scenario which happened in Paris, and this may occur in all other parts of the world as well.
WHO Director General at a press conference after a closed-door meeting of the Emergency Committee said, quote, "I am not declaring a public health emergency of the international concern today, as it was yesterday that the Emergency Committee was divided over whether the outbreak of novel coronavirus represents a PHEIC or not," end quote. The lockdown comes on the eve of Lunar New Year, one of the most important days in the Chinese calendar when millions of people travel home.
Sri Lanka, as a major tourist destination in the world, sees a large chunk of Chinese nationals arriving every year to the island. Last year alone, in 2019, more than 40,000 Chinese nationals arrived in Sri Lanka as tourists. And also an interesting fact is that more than 10,000 people, 10,000 Chinese nationals are currently residents of Sri Lanka, mainly involved in the construction and many other sectors as well. And now, of course, the Chinese New Year is currently being celebrated, and many Chinese are going back to China and returning, and they will be returning back to Sri Lanka as well. So that will also be a major concern for Sri Lanka and many other parts of the country as well.
Embassy of Sri Lanka in China says the embassy in Beijing is closely monitoring the evolving situation of the coronavirus infection in China and is presently in discussion with relevant Chinese authorities in Beijing and Wuhan, as well as Sri Lankans in Wuhan and other parts of China. The embassy has been receiving queries from Sri Lankans in Hubei province, especially in Wuhan, as well as from their relatives in Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan embassy is closely monitoring advisories issued by the World Health Organization. Meanwhile, SriLankan Airlines has implemented a series of precautionary measures to mitigate the risk from the current coronavirus epidemic in the Far East, with the safety and well-being of its valued passengers and staff being of paramount importance. Sri Lankan's cabin crew and other relevant staff have been briefed on actions to be taken on board and at airports, especially those in the Far East. The airlines is also in contact with relevant aviation and health authorities who are involved in monitoring the situation. This includes the Ministry of Health and authorities at Colombo's Bandaranaike International Airport.
Now, with the coronavirus being a major threat across many parts of the world, what are the authorities here at home doing about this? The matter was discussed extensively in Parliament today.
There is a health desk at the airport. If there is a passenger who has any of the symptoms of the virus, they could report to this health desk. There was a Chinese national who had fever and he had reported to the health desk, but it turned out that he only had normal fever. There is a device set up there that detects anyone with high body temperature. We have taken the necessary measures. No such case has been reported as yet.
මේ දක්වා ලංකාවේ කිසිම හිම රෝගියෙක් වාර්තා වෙලා නැහැ.